Hello, people. Let us get to talk about overthinking. Are you an overthinker? Are we all human beings? Every human being out there an overthinker? I'm sure yes. But how to get around this overthinking? The only way is to understand that sometimes it is amazing to be an overthinker. It helps you with better solutions, better, uh, you know, better ideas, better work opportunities. And sometimes overthinking takes a toll on your life. Okay. Now, when life gets too much, which it always does for every one of us out there, I try to use certain examples and help myself through it. Okay. For example, you are in that, let's say you are in that highway and your vehicle, maybe you are at a bus passing passing by with many other people. There is a driver, there is a conductor, there are many other passengers, and there is a toll tax stoppage right in front of you. And you are about to move to the toll tax for, let's say, I mean, in a minute or so. Now, what happens is that you pay that money, that tax, and you pass through that spot, right? You go to your destination. But what happens when we take too much time into taking decisions? And that too because we have been overthinking. So, this video is made for me. This video is made for everyone out there who is alive. Okay. Now, what it means to be alive? It means that we have to get certain things done. We have to live happily. Okay. And unless and until we are in that space where we can live happily with our boundaries, with our imaginations, our sense of fantasy, etc., etc., we work hard towards all those things. But what happens when we do not work hard enough towards those things? We don't get to have a chance with life, and that causes a lot of emptiness. For example, let's say today is Monday and you were supposed to take out your clothes to the laundry. Someone else were supposed to, like maybe you are at office and you are about to check those files or do that particular documentation or maybe make an analysis of some responsibility that has been given to you. Okay. Now you have not done that, and suddenly you are in that zone where you start to think a lot that, oh my god, how am I going to make ends meet? How am I going to do that thing? It is a habit that every one of us do have. Okay. It is not something that just you and I have. Today, the most, like I'm telling you, the most productive person out there, okay, the most intelligent, speedy, quick, and street smart person out there is definitely and for sure procrastinating on one or the other thing and delaying good things in life. Okay, delaying um You can tell some sort of safety and security. Why? Because they have been thinking, or it might be they have not done that particular thing. They are delayed in life. So, first of all, before you get stuck about thinking about overthinking and then thinking and then moving out of that space eventually, because you must, otherwise you will get stuck and you will die there. Okay, you will retire in that phase and you will die right there. Okay, so when you are thinking about overthinking and move out of, like, one day you must stop, because maybe one of your friends or family will tell you that, oh my god, you're such an overthinker, or maybe your mind will tell you you're such an overthinker. Okay, and you stop overthinking and you get along with life, you will look back and you will think that, oh my god, I've been such a lazy, such an overthinking person. Now, are there some kind of jobs that can help with a bit of overthinking? Not anymore. Why? Because of AI. Okay, I remember that I used to take years, you know, trying to write something, okay? Trying to finish writing a book, trying to finish doing something. But recently, I am seeing this many posts across the internet where people are using AI to write uh, essays for admission. They are trying using AI to write their PhD. They are using AI to write their examination, and of course, many other office projects. And of course, they are using AI to write books. Now, just think that today is the day when our work is getting behind us, or sometimes even ahead of us, because of the control that AI can do on our particular work. So, is it important for you to, instead of thinking about overthinking, and to reflect that where we, this generation, who were stuck in this phase of work where overthinking was required, before you complain or you talk about something or you think about something or you even start a conversation with yourself about something, just think that, like, let's say you are talking about a nightmare. Okay, and you tell a friend that, like, I had this nightmare yesterday and I just can't forget it, and it is, something. Now, when you find yourself talking constantly about nightmares, constantly, what happens? You stop to get along with life, maybe. Maybe you stop to just understanding that there is so much to do in life. And at the same time, maybe you stop to even partake in life or participate in the things that you should be participating in. Now, in this space, you can't overthink to get something done and just keep on thinking about just one thing, and that is regrets, what you have done so far, what you have not done so far, how can you do things in a very different way. Does it help at that time? Does overthinking help you at that time? Now, let us come back to that example where, like, often I use the example of being in an office. Okay, let's say you are in a company, you are working somewhere, and you are at your workplace, and you are stuck. You are there where you just can't, you have a lot of work, you can do it, but you just can't do it. Why? Because maybe you are thinking about something. M- Now, how to, first of all, if you are an overthinker and if you are a person who keeps on thinking about one thing or the other, the most important thing is to ask yourself that is this overthinking helping me? Ask yourself that, today maybe you woke up and you thought that, okay, what breakfast can I have? Is this overthinking helping you today? If you are this person who is constantly thinking that, should I have dosa? Should I have biryani? Should I have a bowl of cornflakes? Should I have bread? Should I have just milk? Should I have just water? Maybe just tea? What should I have? And despite all the obvious answers, what is the most nutrition? What is the most affordable? What is the most local? What is the most hygienic? What is the thing that you eat and you feel like, okay, I'm having good food? What is the thing that serves your good idea of existence? Okay? Despite all the obvious answers, if you find yourself overthinking, then it might just be that you are a very talkative person. Please understand that people who are very talkative, just like me, if they are not allowed to speak, they tend to overthink. Now, when we are overthinking, we are just thinking about having a proper conversation. Now, for these people, okay, and this includes me as well, having a proper conversation is just not enough. So, what do I do? In this case, I have accepted that I am helpless. Okay, like like tell it out, like I'm practically helpless. Okay, but what if you move out of that space a bit and you think that, okay, like I can move on with life without talking, without being talkative, so let me just work. So I'm working, and then suddenly you will find that since you have had this very unhelpful, very unproductive conversation with yourself, it is okay. It is okay. Then eventually you go ahead. You have done, I'm assuming that by this time you are either in that phase where you are stopping to overthink and just focusing on what is right and what is wrong, and you are carrying on with the work. Once that work is done, you will probably look back at yourself and you will think that, okay, I have been overthinking for no reason at all. Okay. So before you find yourself that, I am overthinking, etc., etc., it is important for you to, you and those who care about you and those of you, I mean, those of those people that you care about, okay? So it is important for you to have a look at this circle that you are in and have an idea that what is it that makes this workable? What is it that I will do to help this thing continue? What kind of work? What kind of conversation? What kind of attitude towards life? What kind of modesty? What kind of truthfulness? What kind of clarity? Once you have achieved these ideas, you check, are these people that capable? Are these, do they understand the language? Not like, language like Hindi, English, uh, Urdu, or any language, but the kind of attitude that you have, the kind of behavior that you are habituated with. Ask yourself that, like, okay, I've understood that these people will be happy if I just pass on a glass of water to each of them from time to time, or maybe if I can just, tidy up the space a bit, my family members will be happy. And you have figured that out, it is done, and you have decided to move on with life. Okay. But then there is something else about it as well. If you have spent that much amount of time in trying to figure out whether you want to like do this to make that person happy, make your circle happier, and you want to go out of that circle, just ask yourself that today, if you are spending so much of time into overthinking about one thing, can you afford to move out of that circle, move out of that space in life, and then immediately jump back to the available opportunity? Is it possible for you? Is it possible for those people who are capable of providing you those opportunities? Probably yes, and probably no. It is not known. There is no proper answer to this. But there is one proper answer, is that to stay in track with life, first of all. Why is it important that, let's say, you have figured out that you are somebody who is an overthinker? So what you need to do is that you need to step back and think that, like, okay, this is a space where I am going to go into. Probably I will have some fun, but I will also keep on overthinking a lot. Okay. Like I keep on giving examples. Let's say today you have some work and you want to go to that party and you want to attend, probably you want to have a proper conversation with that person. Probably you want to have a proper conversation with your surrounding people in your surroundings. What is it that you can do? If your work is not done, nothing, nothing. Okay. So eventually, what happens is that you get to live with just two options. Okay. Either you step back, and you think that, okay, if I go to that party, if I have that, extremely lengthy binge watching movie night, or extremely lengthy, you know, hours at the cinema. Suddenly, I find myself at the shopping mall. Suddenly, I find myself spending 300 rupees for a scoop of ice cream. Suddenly, I find myself for inside an Uber, going to that carnival, trying out that, that shoe that costs so much, and it has no value of luxury, no value of quality. What do you think will make you overthink? This is the habit that will make you overthink. Tomorrow when you come back to work from that unhealthy amount of break, okay, from that unhealthy amount of fun, from that unhealthy amount of partying, shopping, thinking, talking, it will make you overthink. Okay, so it is important to stick to the rules of life. Now, what are the rules of life? The rules of life are very simple. You do your duty, you earn your way through the world, you help others, you be a clear, normal, helpful, kind human being. Live and let live. So, if you are still like, okay, let's say you have had that conversation, you have had that kind of an idea about life, and you find out that, okay, like if I just stay away from these things, I will be able to focus on work and not be an overthinker. But sometimes it is that difficult, isn't it? Like we go through life and like we find ourselves that it is so peaceful, it is so calming and comforting to just actually overthink about life, to just think and do nothing, you know like to just think that how great it would be to be always able to fantasize about these things, to be able to just focus on one thing, and that is to fantasize, to be able to watch that fantasy movie all over again, and just once in your mind, just to go to that space. The greatest thing in life, isn't it? To live in fantasy. Now, I have once lived just in fantasy, okay? Like, oh wow, it is great. And like that is great. And doing this is doing this is funnier than doing anything else in life. But then this is something that is very heartbreaking and sad, that we have so many sources of fantasy and so many sources of overthinking, but we have very less time and solutions. Okay, so what to do? First of all, it is okay to give up on this war, the war of overthinking. That like, I've been thinking and thinking about solve this issue, and you give up. Just say that okay, I give up. Like, what will happen? What will happen? What will happen if I just confront that person? What will happen if I say no to that person? What will happen if I just say that like, I don't like to uh, I don't like your answers. I don't like your solutions. I don't like your point of view of life. I don't like to be nihilistic. Nihilistic means the kind of person who believes that there is nothing in life. Now, why it is okay to give up? Because there is nothing more to it. Okay. First of all, when you are in this space where like there is another person who is trying to tell you that it is important to live life in a very different way, then you can do one thing. You can either, and this is also very much doable. You can do that. You can take a bit of time out of your zone. You can think that like, I am okay. I am in this space in life, and the person is giving me this advice. Is the advice doable? Is it feasible? Probably it is feasible. In this modern life, a lot of things are okay and doable than it were yesterday. Okay. So, if it is that feasible, then is it also feasible to slow down a bit and to help yourself rejuvenate, and just tell it to yourself, like in a quote, that oh god, I have been overthinking so much. Okay, I have been overthinking so much, and overthinking and overthinking and overthinking, and all I really want to do is to focus on myself. Okay, continue to be good at the work that I'm doing, and be happy with life. But but are we those lost people who think that we will just drive through life, and life will give us these happiness bombs, like the life will keep on showering happiness bombs on us? Is that life, people? Is that life? Tell me. It is not life, right? So if you are overthinking, you are either thinking about a possible solution, or you are either thinking about a possible problem, or you are either thinking about a possible sadness, or you are either overthinking about what could make you happy. Now, what if you can use that energy of what could make you happy into finding that bubble? So, this is something which I know for truth, that everybody, including me, okay, lives and likes to live in a bubble. Now, what is problematic with living constantly in a bubble? Sometimes it is important to even understand that, are we going to sustain ourselves in the world of fantasy that we have built across ourselves? Okay, what if we Like today I have built this bubble of overthinking. Today I have built this bubble of doing whatever we want to do, lying, cheating, doing infidelity, being immodest, in whatever you can think of. It's okay. I am this little person, innocent. Of course, I am somebody who, like, I'm somebody who gets tampered on from time to time. I am somebody who gets used by others. I People take advantage of me, etc., 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 etc. Okay, so what do you think is the problem? Maybe your behavior, maybe your issue is the problem. Your belief, your extreme amount of trust in your innocence is the problem. Okay, now before I get ahead with the topic, I want to remind you of one thing, that nothing is more important than integrity, honesty, clarity, etc. If you are a person who believes in integrity, if you are a person who believes in clarity, then you are probably the person who also believes in getting ahead in life no matter what, because you have so many good ideas in front of you. Good ideas have filled your head, good ideas have filled your brain. But if you are the person who from time to time finds yourself stuck in a sad trap, that you feel that people will take advantage of you, then please understand that yes, people will take advantage of you unless and until you are stopping them. People are there because they are taking advantage of one thing or the other. If you are at a workplace, okay, the colleague that is sitting next to you is in their state of existence because they have taken advantage of the opportunity. When they were a child, they have taken advantage of when they were a child, they have taken advantage of the fact that, you know, that their classmates were not as intelligent and as intellectual as they were. If they were extremely rich, they have taken advantage of the fact that somebody poorer than them have not been able to afford that education, that degree, that course. They have landed in that position. Okay, so please understand, people do take advantage, and the more toxic kind of people you are surrounded with, okay, they will take advantage. You have a friend who is your best friend but is toxic. You have a partner who is your partner but is toxic. You have a child who is your child but is toxic. You have a neighbor who is your neighbor. Sometimes they treat you, sometimes they tell you the right things in life, but then they are toxic. They will take advantage of you, and one or the other instances will be there when they are the ones who have pulled you out of the worst phases of life, but then you are stuck with them. You are in a ride with them. Why? Why are you in that ride with them? Because you took an amount of help from them, and now they will take advantage of you. So when I am trying to get away from a more simplistic and a more you know a more fantasy filled and a more like a self belief space, and coming out of it, I get to see that no, life is not always that a happy space in life. I mean, a happy space in world. Why? because I mean, see, I have been one of those people who reads a lot, and I see that there is a huge narration out there regarding regarding believing in what the world has to give you, believing in the universe, how you are connected to the universe. But how does it help you? Does it help you? From my personal experience, I'll tell you that the more you put these narrations on your head, that like I'm connected to the universe. Imagine that you are a part of this big cosmic cycle. It instantly makes you feel less powerful because it makes you feel privileged. And at the same time, it makes you want to just let loose, live slowly, and go out there. And like tell it out to your people that, like spread the positivity, spread the light. Like what is the light? Like what is it? Like you carrying, like, let's suppose this is a lantern, like, and this is a light. How can what does it mean to spread the light? Like spread the light. Like from my point of view, I understand that when I see a person who is very capable of doing something, okay, and like I remember that I had this colleague of mine at my first job, and this colleague was so dedicated at their work that this person would be asked for other important jobs every now and then, and it was a circle, like this was this exemplary person that I still remember. This colleague of mine, so meticulous at their work, so quick at what they were capable of. Like people from other important departments would sometimes fail, and this person would be out there doing that important work, proving themselves that, okay, even though I am not that trained, but I've just done it through my belief, through my confidence. Okay. But when you are stuck in a series of overthinking, you don't get to be anything. Now you can be this person who gives out very positive speeches, etc., etc., but you don't get to be productive at all. You don't get to be a good human being at all. You just get to overthink. And like, for example, I'll tell you this incident. While I was living in a different city, during the COVID, towards the uh, the end of the first lockdown, the entire uh, building where I was living, the other girls, they were vacating the building. And what they were doing is that they were moving back to their hometown. Why? Because they thought that it was safer. And there was this another very old friend of mine who had told me that, immediately vacate your space, immediately vacate your space. And I got that scared. And I started to tell it even to my parents back home in a different city. They were in a different city, and I got so scared. And like my parents tried to put some senses back into my head, and they told me that, it is okay that, okay, your building is getting isolated, but there must be one or the other girl around, and you stay where you are. Don't waste your time in, like being jumpy, being indecisive. Carry on with life and do your job. But then I did the overthinking when I had many other things to do. when I could, you know, I mean, when I look back at that space, I wish I could just stop myself from overthinking in that manner. And had you been with me around that time, you could have seen the amount of overthinking I had done over something that was not that important or harmful at all. I mean, of course, people were leaving the accommodation, but there were also many other people around. And because of that, friend had told me that it will, like, every other people will vacate the accommodation and I must leave. I had also, you know, rang up my parents, had an argument with my father, my mother, and I had told it to everyone that, you know, this place is not so safe. This place is not so, uh, there is nothing, there is no security. But it is not okay to be that, be in that zone where, you overthink to that extent where you just can't do anything and actually let somebody else take your decision. I have been there. You also must have been there. Everybody has been there. I have seen that even my parents who take such good decisions for me have been in positions where they have overthought and taken wrong decisions in life. It happens at times. For example, let's say today you are trying to decide what kind of a career or a job you want for yourself. Okay, you are somebody who knows it. Okay, if you think that you don't have enough information in front of you, just go to the internet, do a bit of check, take time, do your research. you know but then if you are the person who, oh my god, thinks and overthinks and overthinks, then you will, of course, I'm telling you, you will find yourself in that space where either your parents take a decision for you or your friends take a decision for you, and you are somebody who is thankful. This is how you build toxic relationships. Who is thankful that somebody, that person took you out of that overthinking space. Okay, the next thing is that um, you develop this constant cycle of being grateful to that person because that person let you decide. Then you give away a lot of credit to that person, irrespective of whether this decision was good or bad or just okay for you. First of all, I don't think that there is a decision which is just okay. Decisions are either good, decisions are either, or decisions are bad. Okay, if you are stuck in a bad decision phase, then I think you need to take yourself out of that space. See, again and again, I keep on telling everyone, just step back a bit from whatever is going on and try to look at things. You will find that it is not that you lack confidence, because I don't know, like, can you put a, like, show me what does confidence looks like. Then can I just tell that, this is how confidence looks like, this is how this looks like? No, confidence doesn't look like that all the time. Okay, confidence looks like, as if, like, okay, like, let's say today you want to do that painting, and you have never taken painting classes, and you feel like, like, I am confident, I will use the I will use that tutorial from what is the name of that painter, Bob Ross. Maybe you want to learn something from the Bob Ross's painting thing, and you were like, okay, I want to make a copy of those paintings. Go ahead with it. Now just ask yourself, was there even a space, was there even a room for confidence? Like, I have seen the interviews of many people who were telling that, like, be confident. But confidence is something that is so shapeless that I just can't put, like, I cannot buy it, I cannot receive it. It is not given away as gifts in your birthdays or any achievement day. It doesn't come in the form of a salary increment, it doesn't come in the form of grocery. So what is confidence? I think confidence is just another word for, it is a watered down word for fear. Like, have confidence in yourself. Instead, tell the other person that it's okay. You know, you don't feel like going ahead, but it's okay. Just go ahead. Because sometimes we realize that we don't we get stuck into the space of thinking and overthinking and having arguments, making people understand, explaining things to people, while those things are just not required. We need to get the work done. We need to retire to a safe and hygienic space, and we need to be happy and healthy, and we need to be energetic. We need to have more space around ourselves. See, then it means that despite all the amount of overthinking that I have done so far, I am still in the space who needs. So, how about I reduce that thing a bit? Okay. How do I reduce the amount of need that I have? Like, I need this, I need that, I need. Okay. Let me work toward it. Let me give a deadline to myself that right after this, right after this conversation with the self, I am not letting myself go back into the same old pattern of having or not having confidence. And this builds a lot of overthinking. Is it required for us to stop overthinking? Now ask this to yourself. As I speak it out to you, I feel that it is not only required for us to stop overthinking, but to actually go back, way back in time. Like, if I had a time machine, okay, if those movies that teach us about time traveling, those YouTube documentaries that teach us about time traveling, and those many theories, they were real, I would tell myself that, like, I would go back in time and always find myself at work rather than to be a person who is into overthinking. So if you see, being suicidal, being depressive, being lost and a failure is not an option anymore. Even if you are a lonely person, living in a van, and who doesn't care, it is not an option. It is something that you have to earn today. See, um I don't know if I am being kind or rude or anything. If you find yourself in a position where you can afford to be just whatever, like you can afford to be unproductive, you can afford to be overthinking, then it's okay if that is your life. But it is not my life. My life is different. Okay? My life is very practical. My life is very fast. And of course, I have a lot of fear. Tell this to yourself that, you fear. What do you fear? You fear death. You fear poverty, you fear being suicidal, you fear being depressive, and there are many other, like, I had this friend of mine who would just not listen to any life advice, who would stay where she is and do one after the other mistake and still expect the good people to be her friends. And if those people were making it a point to move a little far away from her, why? Because she doesn't make sense anymore. Okay, then she would throw in a lot of abusive uh, things. And because today our age is the age of kindness, positivity, togetherness, building a community, we can't even put that out in front to a person that you are being destructive to my life, to my work. And eventually you get stuck in that very bad zone in life. So, what can be done? Ghost that person. If you are a person who thinks that you are stuck in overthinking, then this might be because of many a lot of reasons. Maybe you have friends who are destructive to you, who like, I'll tell you, I am the kind of person who right in the time of festivities finds a lot of things to do. Okay, like, let's say I have been busy or lazy or unproductive throughout the year, and then at the ending of the year I find myself that, like, okay, it is the new year, I have not been that productive. I have not challenged myself. I have not been that happy. I have not been that happy, or I have not been that cool about the fact that I work, that I like to hustle. No. And when these New Year festivities come, I feel guilty, regretful that I was not that present around my parents. Now, what happens when you say that, okay, I am going to overthink a bit. It's okay. I understand that, I am this person. I like to be productive. I like to work. I have not done that amount of work. I'm going to be a bit, I am, like, I will take it out on myself. So how about I cut out on a few things in life? Okay. Now, if you have friends who will be rude and sad to you because you could not keep up with life, you will be in a place of overthinking. If you have friends who will be, um, you know, who are poor because of their lifestyle choices and sad and depressed, then you are, probably going to be in a space of overthinking. If you are, if you have that habit of not being able to communicate to your parents, now take note of what I'm saying, that sometimes your parents do figure out that you are not in the right space of work. Okay, and they put it out to you. So, and it feels like they are nagging, they are being repetitive, and they are, it is as if they have never taken you seriously from childhood, and suddenly they are making demands from you. And you figure out that, you can make a move, you can go out of that space and carry on with life as is. You can go after that promotion, you can do things. But then suddenly you think that, okay, I will not be capable of it. So tell yourself that, like, um regressive or negative self identification, this is a habit, okay, that you identify yourself with certain things that you might have done in the past. Okay, let's say for so long you have been very quiet, very introverted, and very sad about how life is. But going forward, it doesn't work. Going forward, you need to be robust, you need to be radical. Okay, but you have not been like that for so long. Can it be done that you carry on with life like this? No. Okay, so now you tell you so that, okay, like I have been an introvert. I have not been able to communicate the good things to people. Okay, so what do I do? Maybe I need to, cut out on other things, and I need to educate so that I can be more articulate, so that I can be more communicative, so that I can have a better way of talking, better way of argumenting, and talk to my parents. See, when you communicate good things to your parents and still notice that your parents are being nagging, then maybe you can see the kind of person who finds good things in bad things are winners. Okay, they are the positive people, they are childlike, they are childish, they are innocent. Okay, and see, in the for example, my parents are like that. My parents do push me that, no, 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 they are not that patient at all. They tell that, okay, you want me to focus on something that you're going to tell. What is it about? Okay, tell me. I have boss parents at home, and that has been the reason why I have gone ahead with life, with the amount of positivity and luck that I have today. I am lucky to have these parents. If you have parents who are nagging and strict and they want you to be very speedy with life, then you are lucky as well. Okay? So I have always noticed that whenever I tell this to my parents, okay, like, do you have half an hour? My father and my mother instantly they put it across. Half an hour. What is it? Why should you take half an hour to talk about this very simple thing? Be fast. Tell me what is it? And then I put it across to them, and instantly they start to show me the way. That, okay, okay, this is the thing. This is what you should do. This is what you should do. Go next, go after it. And you find yourself that, okay, I am a bit lazy. I am an overthinker. I procrastinate a lot. And I like to exist in that world of fantasy. So, what is it? Okay, maybe, like, let's say today is, what time? Let's say it is 2:13. Okay, till 2 in the afternoon you have been lazy, you have been, or maybe till 2:12 you are lazy, you have been extremely sad and unimportant, but suddenly at 2:13 you realize that, okay, 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 fine, absolutely, I am going to be very speedy. What is it that you need to be speedy about? Okay, maybe you need to walk, maybe you need to take a short break. Okay, take a short break. Maybe you need to, like, take that notes, do that studies, be speedy, take that note, do that study, do that thing. What is the next thing that you need to do? Okay, I need to, like, like, maybe you are doing a research on something. Okay, I have a habit of getting lost in the internet. Cut out on the internet. Do you have a book with which you are doing the research? No, probably you are doing the research on internet. Okay. Tell yourself that, no, I am not going to open another tab. I am not going to take a break. And tell yourself again that, like, it is also uh, that I am in debt to my parents and to myself because I'm taking a break. Do not take breaks so often when you are at work. When you, if, see, I have a friend, very dear friend of mine. She is a aspiring psychologist. Okay. I had long back encouraged her to study psychology, and she is a psychologist. She's studying, she's doing her higher studies in psychology. And sometimes I feel that she could do a lot better if she were, you know, not taking so much break. She has a habit of taking so much of break. And in that way, she is, even though she is my friend, she is not an inspiring character. I mean, very soon she will be watching this video and she will probably be, like thinking that this is what I have spoken about her to the whole world in front of me. That, yeah, she is a great friend. But from that point of view, she is not that inspiring. Why? Because she takes a break. Oh my God, it is just this small habit of taking a break. Like you are getting, like, why is it something that important? Somebody has died, an earthquake? Like, is it that, like, sometimes I tell this to myself, like, is it that, like a very rare phenomena where a rain is, uh, like the clouds are just above your head and it is not raining anywhere else, it is raining just above your head, and a storm is coming and you don't have the umbrella. Is it the thing that you need to run? Or no, it is not the thing. It is stupid to be that person. But then this friend of mine has so much of capability. Okay, when she helps somebody out, when she helps her uh, clients out, they get saved for life. She has saved me from bad phases in life for so many times. But she has the bad habit of taking a break. Now, if you continue like this, you will be lost in a zone of overthinking from where you need to come out. Okay? Just think you are just simply taking a break. And, and once it is done, you want to do another thing. You want to go and buy yourself a bag of chips. Then you want to eat that bag of chips. And you want to keep on taking a break. And suddenly you come back to work thinking that, okay, this, and all of a sudden nothing seems enough important, nothing seems enough unimportant, nothing appears, nothing materializes, and you just can't do a simple thing in life without being lazy, sad. And if your parents have a lot of money, then of course you are probably sophisticated, you can speak in a good way, but you are not required anymore. So another another reason why people end up in a zone of overthinking is when they are scared of something that they have seen. If you have seen, like, for example, I one day went to this ride from one place to the other, and I found myself looking at a, like a, I I just can't think whether it was a forest or it was just a empty land, but it was a very dark area. And suddenly the vehicle had to take that route because there was a kind of a strike going on, and it was past sunset, and it was very dark, and we were very scared, and I kept on overthinking. Once I came out of it, I kept on overthinking. Now, sometimes trauma takes the shape of a lot of thoughts. It is as if our soul wants to tell us a lot of things. Okay? Our souls don't lie. Our souls do want to tell us a lot and lot and lot of things. And we want to have a communication with our souls, our thoughts, our brains. And suddenly, you know, we feel that we have been talking to ourselves about the same thing again and again. But why? Why can't we be that speedy? Why can't we move out of that zone for in a very swifty way? Why is it that impossible? It is not that impossible. Yes, okay. We have been there. We have been through something bad in life. Probably life was a bit nightmarish. Probably life was sad. Probably life was not that energetic and happy, or that rewarding, or that productive. You were not surrounded by the right people. It's okay. Move out. Get back to work. Do things. Okay? Now, another reason why we tend to be overthinking is that maybe we are not doing what we should be doing. We are doing the wrong kind of things. We are in the wrong job. We are not uh, helping another out, and we are not uh, capable enough to move ahead in life. Now, how does anybody out there grow in life? They do one thing after the other, they do one thing after the other, right? Okay, let's say today is what day? It is 10th of Feb, and you realize that okay, I am not in the right place in life. Then suddenly you move to and you think that okay, what is the right place in life? And you have a proper answer that like this is what I want to do. Then you move ahead in life, and then you move ahead in life, and then you move next in life. That is absolutely fine. That is not an issue at all. But if you stay back where you are and you don't make the necessary changes, then you will keep on overthinking. Okay, what happens is that sometimes you give up on some dreams, sometimes you give up on some ambitions, and you think that okay, it's fine. No, in today's world things are possible. You have to understand that. But also, in today's world, a lot of things are impossible. What is impossible? To just lay back and be lazy and not fall for the wrong kind of people. That is impossible. I mean, that is possible. For example, like I have told this again, and I will tell you again that uh, if you are not doing the right practices in life, if you are not doing the right kind of uh, move in life, then you will be lost with the people who are failures, who are not happy with what is going on with their life, and you will be stuck in a very bad zone. So, what is required? It is required to understand that as human beings, see, whatever is negative, whatever is positive, soon loses its shape, and the boundaries get thinner every day. What do you need to do? You need to fend for yourself, okay? Please understand that at times life is lonely, okay? Despite all the advices, despite all the care, despite all the scoldings that you get from your cared ones, you end up in a lonely life. But when you think and see, if you keep on having constant discussions and arguments, you will delay progress. And once again, not only you and your surroundings will end up in an overthinking zone. Okay? How do you, how do you Stop your people from being in an overthinking zone. When you are the one who is contributing to that zone of overthinking, you can't do that. If you are putting across a problem to your parents, first of all, see, they have been through a lot in life, irrespective of how much over, under, or simply privileged or happy, unhappy, poor, lucky, rich they were. They have been through a lot. And if they are rich, successful, um, simple, productive, I'm sure that they have been through a lot in life. Okay, they have worked harder than uh, anybody else around. They have achieved whatever you have today. And when you put some questions to them, just think that first of all, am I even helping them by asking these questions? Will it kind of be an unhealthy conversation with them? Okay, then you realize that okay, fine, it is okay. And like, I am not going to have this conversation with my parents because it is always, like, it is a kind of a problem. They might be in their happy zone, they might be doing something that they are just comfortable with, and then suddenly you decide that okay, I'm not going to put across a lot of uh, sad things, like confusing questions to my parents. And once you are not capable of asking them questions that are not that important, you don't use, uh, you know, life's usual situations to be an overthinker. Now, when you ask your parents something, they give you the obvious answer, and you choose to move ahead with the possible solution. And the amount of probably money, time, advice they can invest on you. But when you choose not to be that person, you choose to be lazy and, unsympathetic, rude, cruel, then you can't help anybody. One day you will find that your parents are aging faster than they should be, and then your parents are, you know, probably becoming overthinker just like you. So what should we do? First of all, we should think that life should be very fast and happy, and something that we can celebrate. Okay, then we should you know see that first of all, I have always said this thing to myself, and I will tell it to myself, that not always people around you will give you good advice and be that kind that they will not take advantage of your position, whoever it is. Like, this is the reason why best friends turn into enemy. This is the reason why partners divorce. This is the reason why people leave their workplaces. If you think that today anybody, any outsider is giving you an idea, and they will not be benefited by taking away that advantage, taking away that idea from you, lying to you, and moving ahead with life, throwing you out of their circle, then you are wrong. These things do happen and will happen because just like you are looking for better opportunities in life, they will also do the same thing. So, why should you stop yourself from being that intelligent? Be sharp. Now, you cannot be sharp or intelligent without knowledge. Educate yourself. Learn what is it that needs to be done. What is it that you can do? What is it that you cannot do? And when you spend your days like this, it creates a sense of well being and pride in your head, and that matters a lot. And slowly you will start to understand that overthinking outside the realm of work or something funny or productive is rather sad, and that you have been leading a sad life. Okay, now what to do? Like, from the picture that I'm getting from life, you can't be an overthinker and not fall prey to the bad things in life. So you have to stop it, you know. Now, sometimes it feels great to be an overthinker because you get to understand, like, it feels like, let's say today you have read or seen something in the newspaper, okay, and you have seen this incident and you think and think, okay, like this, if this is happening, and then that is how we can link things up. So yeah, now that is what it is. And that kind of overthinking is just fine. You keep on overthinking on that like, oh, if I were in that position I would have done that. This is a life lesson. But overthinking about the past, about sad mistakes of our life, about um, some wrong routes that we might have taken in life is not fine. Okay, so stay tuned with life.